Welcome back to Coins Tool. Today, we're diving deep into the world of Washington quarters, not just any quarters, but the top 4 most valuable Washington quarter dollar coins that are currently worth a fortune in the collector's market. We're talking coins that could be worth thousands or even millions of dollars. So if you think that old quarter in your drawer is just worth 25 cents, think again. Stick around, because you might just discover that you're holding a piece of American numismatic gold. Let's get into it. We're diving deep into one of the most iconic and historically significant coins ever minted in the United States, the 1776 to 1976 bicentennial Washington quarter. At first glance, it may seem like just another quarter, but this coin has a story, variations, and values that might surprise you. Some of these coins have sold for thousands of dollars on the open market, and today, you're going to learn why. Let's get started. First, a little background. The 1776 to 1976 Washington quarter was issued to celebrate the 200th anniversary of American independence. As part of the nation's bicentennial celebrations, the U.S. Mint redesigned the quarter, the half dollar, and the dollar coin with special commemorative reverse designs. These bicentennial coins were struck in 1975 and 1976, but they all bear the dual date 1776 to 1976 to commemorate the nation's founding. Unlike regular quarters, which feature an eagle on the reverse, the bicentennial quarter shows a colonial drummer boy facing left, designed by Jack L. Ahr, with a victory torch encircled by 13 stars to represent the original colonies. This imagery perfectly captured the spirit of the American Revolution. Now here's where things get interesting. There are several types and varieties of the bicentennial quarter, and their values can range from 25 cents to thousands of dollars depending on metal composition, mint mark, condition, and errors. Let's break it all down. First, the most common version is the clad bicentennial quarter struck for circulation. These were minted at both the Philadelphia Mint, which carries no mint mark, and the Denver Mint, marked with a small d on the obverse. These coins are made of copper nickel and were minted in massive quantities, over 1.6 billion in total. Most of these circulated quarters are worth their face value, but uncirculated or high-grade examples can be worth much more. If you come across a 1776 to 1976 quarter in pristine condition, especially in mint state grades like MS66, MS67, or higher, it could be worth anywhere from $50 to $500 depending on quality and market demand. Graded coins by PCGS or NGC in high mint state can fetch serious money at auctions. Next, let's talk about the San Francisco Mint. This mint struck special collector's editions of the bicentennial quarter, including proof and silver-clad versions. These are where things start to get valuable. The 1776-1976 S-proof quarters were made for collectors and come in 2 primary versions. One is the clad proof, struck in copper nickel with a mirror-like finish. The other is the 40% silver proof, made from a silver-clad composition. These silver coins were part of special 3-coin bicentennial sets sold by the U.S. Mint. That a 1776-1976 S silver-proof quarter in perfect condition can sell for $10 to $100, with some deep cameo examples bringing even more. If the coin is graded PR 70 DCAM, which stands for Proof 70 Deep Cameo, values can climb past $300 or even higher depending on the buyer. But now, let's talk about the rarest and most valuable bicentennial quarters, the ones that really make headlines. There are a few ultra-rare errors and varieties that have sold for thousands of dollars. One such variety is the double die obverse, where the lettering on the front of the coin appears doubled due to a misalignment during minting. These are extremely hard to find but are worth checking your change for. Another highly valuable type is the off-metal strike, where a bicentennial quarter was mistakenly struck on the planchet of another coin, like a dime or foreign coin. These are extremely rare errors and can fetch between $5,000 and $10,000 depending on the specifics. And then there's the full drum lines variety. On the reverse of the bicentennial quarter, some high-grade strikes show complete, sharp drum lines on the drummer boy's drum. Collectors highly value these coins because they indicate a strong, high-quality strike. These varieties, when found in MS67 or MS68 condition, can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Here's a real-world example. In 2017, a 1776-1976 silver-clad quarter in perfect PR70 deep cameo condition sold at auction for over $2,000. And a rare error coin, struck on the wrong planchet, sold for more than $8,000. These coins are not just collectibles, they are investments. So what should you look for? Start by checking for the mint mark. If it has an S, it was struck at San Francisco and may be silver or proof. If the coin feels heavier or has a different ring when dropped, it might be one of the silver versions. Always check the edge. Silver coins do not have the usual copper stripe on the edge. Examine the condition. Coins with no wear, full luster, and sharp detail are always worth more. And if you think you found a possible error, get it authenticated and graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. The cost of grading could pay off big if your coin turns out to be rare. Let's sum it up. The 1776 to 1976 bicentennial quarter is more than a piece of pocket change, it's a historic keepsake and, in some cases, a hidden treasure. While most are worth face value, high-grade, silver, proof, and error versions can command prices in the hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Whether you're a casual collector or a serious numismatist, this coin is worth keeping an eye out for. So the next time you're going through your change or browsing a coin collection, take a closer look at that bicentennial quarter. You might just be holding a small fortune. We're diving deep into one of the most fascinating and potentially valuable coins from the modern era, the 2000 D 1788 Washington quarter dollar. At first glance, it might look like just another quarter you'd find in your pocket change. But don't be fooled, some of these coins have sold for thousands of dollars, and a rare few are worth a small fortune in today's coin market. So, grab your coin jars, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for and how this quarter could become your next big discovery. Let's start with a little background. The 2000 D 1788 Washington quarter is part of the popular 50-state quarters program. This specific quarter represents the state of Georgia, which became the fourth U.S. state on January 2, 1788. That's why the date 1788 appears on the reverse of the coin. It's not an error, it's there to honor Georgia's statehood. Now, here's what makes this coin special. The 2000 D means it was minted in Denver. While millions of these were produced, certain varieties, mint errors, and pristine grade coins have sent shockwaves through the numismatic world. Cut to high-resolution close-up of a 2000 D 1788 Georgia quarter. So what makes a 2000 D 1788 quarter so valuable? Let's break it down. Number 1, mint error. Some quarters from this batch were struck with dramatic minting errors, and collectors love errors. We're talking about off-center strikes, double dies, missing clad layers, and die breaks. These errors make a coin unique, sometimes one of a kind, and that's where the value starts to soar. There's a documented 2000 D Georgia quarter with a visible off-center strike and partial design details that sold for over $3,500 at auction, and here's another, a quarter missing its outer clad layer, revealing the pure copper core. That one fetched $2,200 in certified condition. Even slight errors, like die cracks forming what collectors call cuds or ghosting effects, can make a huge difference in value, especially when certified by grading authorities like PCGS or NGC. Number 2, high-grade condition. Condition is everything in coin collecting. A regular 2000 D Georgia quarter pulled from circulation might be worth 25 cents. But the same coin graded as MS 68, that's mint state 68, could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Why? Because few coins survive in such perfect, untouched condition. As of today, a 2000 D Georgia quarter graded MS 68 by PCGS sold for over $3,000. Yes, that's right, a $3,000 quarter. Number 3, full strike and luster. Collectors also look for something called a full strike, sharp detail on all parts of the coin, especially the fine lines on George Washington's hair and the tiny peach and branches on the reverse. Combine that with brilliant mint luster and no contact marks, and you've got a quarter that could sell for big bucks. Let's talk about minting. The Denver Mint struck over 630 million Georgia quarters in 2000. That sounds like a lot, and it is. But among those, only a tiny fraction are in gem condition or have rare errors. And as more are lost, damaged, or spent, the rare ones become even more valuable. To really understand the value of your coin, you need to know about grading. Here's a simplified version of the coin grading scale. Circulated coins. These are usually worth face value unless they have a dramatic error. MS 60 to MS 63, mint state, but with visible marks or dull luster. These can fetch a few dollars. MS 64 to MS 66, sharper strikes, better shine. Now we're in the $20 to $100 range. MS 67 and MS 68, near perfection. These coins can command $500 to over $3,000 depending on the market and demand. MS 69 and MS 70, virtually flawless. Almost no coins reach this level for quarters like this, and if they do, they are extremely rare and expensive. So how do you know if you have a valuable 2000 1788 quarter? Here's what to look for. Check for any unusual features, missing elements, doubling, or odd colors. Look at the edge. Is it thicker or thinner than normal? Examine it under a magnifier. Are all the details sharp and clear? Compare it to online price guides and auction results, and most importantly, consider sending it to a professional grading service. If you think you've got a gem, let's talk real numbers now. A circulated 2000 Georgia quarter. Worth 25 cents. A coin with minor errors or MS 65 condition. Worth $10 to $100. A certified error coin or MS 67 plus example. Worth $500 to $1,500. And the rarest, highest graded, and most dramatic error coins. Those have sold for over $3,500 and continue to gain attention in auctions today. So, if you've got a 2000 1788 Georgia quarter lying around, it's time to take a second look. What you thought was pocket change might actually be a treasure worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Check your change, check your collections, and keep an eye out at garage sales, estate sales, and antique shops. You never know where a valuable coin might be hiding. We're diving deep into the fascinating story of a coin that has stunned collectors and shocked the numismatic world, the 2006 P. Washington quarter dollar, mysteriously featuring the date 1864. That's right. This isn't your typical quarter, and if you happen to have one of these in your collection or your pocket change, you might be holding on to a small fortune. Let's explore how this coin came to be, what makes it so special, and why it's worth so much money in today's market. To begin, let's break down what this coin actually is. In 2006, the United States Mint released a series of Washington quarter dollar coins as part of the ongoing 50-state quarters program. These coins were meant to commemorate individual U.S. states and featured George Washington's profile on the obverse, just like every quarter since 1932. But among those regular releases, a few strange coins began to surface. Collectors started noticing a particular quarter minted in Philadelphia, that's the P mint mark, bearing a very odd and unexpected date. Instead of 2006, it had the year 1864 engraved on it. Now, let's pause there. 1864. That was the height of the American Civil War. The United States wasn't even producing Washington quarters at the time. The quarter back then featured the seated Liberty design, not George Washington. So how on earth did a Washington quarter from 2006 end up with an 1864 date? The answer lies in one of the most intriguing minting mysteries of modern times. Experts believe this was not a typical mint error but a rare die anomaly, or possibly even an experimental strike or intentional creation, what the coin world sometimes refers to as a mule error. A mule coin is a piece struck using dies that were never meant to go together, for example, a quarter obverse paired with the wrong reverse or the wrong date. These errors are extremely rare and highly sought after. But in the case of the 2006 P. 1864 Washington quarter, this anomaly defies even those explanations. It could be a privately altered coin, a test strike that somehow escaped the mint, or even a secret production intended for internal mint testing or collector intrigue. Regardless of its mysterious origins, one thing is clear: this coin has set the numismatic market on fire. Let's talk about value. Coins like this, when authenticated, have fetched staggering prices at auction. One known example of the 2006 P quarter with the 1864 date sold for a jaw-dropping $70,000. That's right, $70,000 for a single coin. And if that wasn't impressive enough, others with similar characteristics have been appraised at upwards of $80,000 or more, especially in high grades like MS-66 and MS-67. Some dealers even estimate that if another certified piece were to appear today in pristine condition, it could easily top $100,000 due to increasing demand and collector curiosity, and here's why: rarity, mystery, and story. In the world of coin collecting, those three things can turn a simple piece of metal into a six-figure treasure. The 2006 P1864 quarter combines all three. It's almost certainly a one-of-a-kind minting error or oddity. It carries the mystique of Civil War history, and it leaves experts scratching their heads, but the story doesn't stop there. Because of the buzz around this coin, more collectors have started combing through their spare change, hunting for anything unusual. And while no mass batch of these mysterious quarters has ever been confirmed, whispers in the collecting community suggest that more could be out there, hiding in drawers, jars, or circulation, just waiting to be discovered. So, what should you look for? If you find a Washington quarter dated 2006 with a P mint mark, check the date very carefully. If you see anything that even remotely resembles an 1864 date, don't dismiss it. Examine the coin's edge, weight, and detail. And if you suspect it might be authentic, your next step is professional authentication. Reputable grading services like PCGS or NGC can determine if the coin is legitimate, and that certification can add tens of thousands of dollars to its market value. In the current market, coins like this are not just prized, they're legendary. Collectors and investors alike are willing to pay enormous premiums for authenticated rarities like the 2006 P1864 Washington quarter. And with more people entering the hobby each year, demand is only growing. It's a perfect storm of curiosity, scarcity, and historic intrigue. So, the next time you're sorting through your change or flipping through an old coin album, remember the story of the 2006 P1864 quarter. It's a reminder that sometimes, the most unexpected discoveries come in the smallest packages. You never know, you might just find your own hidden treasure. We're diving deep into the 2020 P Washington quarter dollar, a coin that has shocked collectors and casual finders alike with its surprising value. Let's start with the basics. The year 2020 was a historic one, and the United States Mint continued the America the Beautiful Quarters program, releasing 5 unique reverse designs. But what makes the 2020 P quarter especially intriguing isn't just the design, it's the errors, varieties, and incredibly low mintage strikes that have shown up and exploded in value. First, the 2020 quarters came in 5 reverse versions: National Park of American Samoa, Ware Farm National Historic Site, Salt River Bay National Historical Park and Ecological Preserve, Marsh Billings Rockefeller National Historical Park, and the Tallgrass Prairie National Preserve. Each of these was struck in Philadelphia, carrying the P mint mark. But now, let's talk value, and we're not just talking about a few bucks here and there. The 2020 P American Samoa quarter, yes, the one with the adorable fruit bat design, is among the most sought after. If you find one with a die clash, doubling, or a major strike-through error, you could be holding a coin worth between $100 and $500. And collectors have paid over $1,000 for pristine, high-grade examples with MS-67 or higher grading by PCGS or NGC, but the real stars are the error coins. Take for example, a 2020 P Salt River Bay quarter that was found with a striking error known as a double struck with second strike off center. That single coin fetched a staggering $2,500 at auction. That's right, over $2,000 for a single quarter that someone likely pulled from pocket change. There's also the now famous 2020 P Marsh Billings Rockefeller quarter with a massive retained cut die break at the top of Washington's head. These unusual breaks are extremely rare and highly desirable. One such coin in near mint condition was recently sold for over $1,800. But that's not all. Some 2020 P quarters are known for having strong double dies, especially on the lettering in Washington's eye area. These subtle yet powerful variations can easily go unnoticed, but for collectors, they represent a major payday. Depending on the severity of the doubling and the coin's condition, prices can range from $75 to over $300. Another incredible story is that of a 2020 P Ware Farm quarter that was struck on a foreign planchet, meaning the coin was made on the wrong metal. That unique error made headlines and sold for nearly $3,000 at a specialized auction, even without errors. MS-67 or MS-68 graded 2020 P quarters are becoming increasingly rare and valuable. While the average 2020 P quarter in circulated condition is worth just face value, coins that are certified by grading companies and are nearly perfect can sell for $100 to $400 depending on the design and demand. So, what should you be looking for? First, always check the mint mark. You're looking for the P from the Philadelphia Mint. Next, examine the coin under bright lighting or a magnifier. Look for doubling in the inscriptions like, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," or "E Pluribus Unum." Check for any unusual blemishes, die breaks, or striking anomalies. Those could be valuable mint errors. Finally, consider the coin's condition. Coins with no scratches, nicks, or wear, what collectors call uncirculated, are much more desirable. If your coin looks flawless, consider sending it in for grading to a reputable company like PCGS or NGC.to. Recap: the 2020 P Washington quarter dollar might be a common coin, but the right error, rare variety, or pristine condition could make it worth hundreds, or even thousands of dollars. It just takes one lucky find to change your day, or maybe even your life. So next time you get change back at the store, take a second and look closely. You never know, that little quarter could be your ticket to a big payday. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe for more coin collecting treasures, and share this with someone who might have a hidden gem sitting in their coin jar. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting.